Now that we've talked about phonemes and morphemes, we're going to move on to talking about grammar, semantics, and syntax. So the overarching definition of grammar is, in a language, a system of rules that enables us to communicate with and understand others. And there are a couple of different categories of grammar that we're going to look at in a little bit more detail. So first, semantics. So semantics is going to be all about what are the general rules that we follow that allow us to derive meaning from sounds. In terms of semantics, we're really worried about, can I effectively communicate what's happening in my mind or around me to someone else? Something can be semantically correct, but maybe have words like a little bit out of order, for example, and this will become a little bit clearer on the next slide. But when we're looking at the two sentences on the slide, first one, the dog jumped over the angry fox. That sentence, in terms of semantics, has communicated its meaning very effectively. We know exactly what's happening. You have one animal that is sort of like leaping over another animal who is angry or upset. Second sentence, the puddle wrote the hairy letter. Well, in terms of word order, it seems correct. We have a noun, we have a verb, we have an object. But in terms of meaning or semantics, that's impossible. Like that couldn't happen. So we would say that semantically, the rules would say that that second sentence isn't really a possibility. Well, then we look at syntax. Syntax is now going to be about the set of rules for combining words into grammatically sensible sentences. So syntax is, well, how do you order nouns, verbs, adjectives, for example? When I speak in English, if I were to talk about like a car that I saw on the road, I would describe it as the red car. I'd put the article first, I'd put the adjective second, and I would then put the noun third. However, in a language like Spanish, you would say el coche rojo. You have, yes, your article first, but then you have coche, which means car, which is the noun. And then after the noun, you have the modifier, which is the word rojo or red. So syntax can vary from language to language. It's just sort of like those little rules for how do we order things. If we were to try to check our understanding, let's look at this sentence. It says, me, I having the best time. All right, let's break it down. Is this sentence or this statement something that we can understand, like what it's trying to communicate? And I'd say the answer is yeah. Like I understand what this statement is saying, but is there something wrong with this statement? Well, yes, also, there's something wrong. Like I might understand what it's communicating, but it's not following the appropriate rules for how we conjugate things, the order we put things in, the correct verbs might not be there. So we would say that this statement is lacking syntax, but it's not really lacking semantics.